Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, to the aftermath of what was an eventful session last time. So we return to the party as we kind of get the aftermath flashback as everybody is back in the owlbear drawn cart as you're moving your way back through the mist and get the memories of what happened last time. You ended up helping Isolde and the rest of the carnival of the Dark Wish Carnival to return some stolen property from one of their attractions. The putrefied pickled punks of Mr. Prakali. And in doing so, basically sussed out, more or less, the true nature of Isolde, the carnival, and her Holy Avenger, in quotes, that she wields. Holy Avenger by the name Nepenthe. You found this individual who had stolen to pay off a debt, who was trying to sell it to what seemed to be the local mafia boss of the nearby town of Kars, and ended up running into the Caller, who is the fiendish individual that Isolde is constantly pursuing, and actually seems that her carnival constantly follows. Having your first real instance of combat in a while that had kind of dire consequences, you fought off the thugs who were trying to basically kidnap you all, looking like you're all exotic pets, basically. And it was the first time in a bit where some of your more savage tendencies came to the forefront. Zug transformed into a giant constrictor snake and then into a humongous constrictor snake, and swallowed a few of the thuggish individuals. Rosin tried to make her way out without having much conflict, bringing back the individual who was trying to sell the goods, and almost got charmed by the Caller, as well as then got stabbed by the Caller. Conflict ended as the Caller disappeared back to the ethereal where they lurk, and you brought back this individual, Bernard, to the carnival, where he was summarily executed by Isolde and Nepenthe.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking brutal.
Yep. His head hit the ground in front of you all as justice, quote unquote, was enacted for goods stolen. There didn't seem to be any remorse in Isolde's eyes, and the blade made it very clear that this is the way things operated, that this is justice that needed to be served. They would have no other way about it. It opened up the mists. Nepenthe opened up the mists again and allowed you all to leave as you heard your companions, who were inanimate for this entire time. Your scarecrow companion, Morgort, and the oil can, who I'm forgetting his name right now, Squirt. Blah, Squirt, and Morgort, all calling to you from your cart as basically a tunnel in the mist opened up. And so that's where we catch up to the party right now. The muffled sounds of the owlbear's paws hitting what seems to be loamy dirt path. Moving forward, you see behind you the tunnel closes up at the rear of the cart, and once again you are locked into the mists that you know separates the different domains of Prismere, the different regions of Prismere. Moment silence as Morgort and Clapperclaw kind of read the room a bit. The sound is all muffled around you. No animal sounds, just the creak of the cart as it floats along behind the owlbear. The occasional just kind of groan of the owlbear. Every once in a while, a slight fart or something from the animal. Clapperclaw spins his elk skull head around and looks at everybody sitting in the back of the cart. What does he see? What is everybody's... As he looks back, what are people doing right now? Just quiet.
I'd imagine Velka is currently probably looking through some like notebooks, like trying to find information that he may have written down somewhere.
Looking at Cabela's, looking up knife connoisseurs.
Knife catalog, yeah.
Okay.
No, but like actually like research into
Sure, yeah.
researching a bit. I don't know if I think we determined that I could tell it was a Holy Avenger, and that was about it.
You could tell it was a Holy Avenger from its make and model. You could tell it was a Holy Avenger. I've seen this blade, you said, but it looked different. Like somebody had done some very nasty Honda Civic mods to it to make it.
Has dank underlights. Yeah.
It's got some underglow. It's got a giant fucking exhaust that's super loud and obnoxious, and a turbo blow-off valve. So whenever it drives by your house, it goes.
The whistles go woo woo.
Yeah, and it has whistle tips.
The kind of car I'd call the cops on at 2 a.m. Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. That kind of sword you'd call the cops on at 2 a.m.
I guess while he's reading his knife catalog, Zug's just elbow on the side of the cart, hand on head, looking out. Not particularly pensive or anything, just sort of observing, not looking too bothered.
You have Zug, what would you think that you would have any kind of, I don't want to say aftertaste, but that's the best way to describe it.
Well, I did say at the very, very end of last session when Voda started crying, I coughed up a belt buckle and spit it out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I would definitely Velka would have comforted Voda first.
While looking at the catalog.
Yeah.
No. Knife catalog would come after, like, we've been going for a while.
Reading over the shoulder.
Both arms over the shoulder, booking.
There, yeah. I know exactly what the flavor is. It's like waking up after a heavy night of drinking without brushing your teeth. Yeah. And he's just sort of like...
Japan Waboogie knows what's up.
Yep.
Yeah. But otherwise...
shots, afterwards, it's great.
Nice. Otherwise, not that bothered by the events, because we're leaving it now.
I'd say the other sound that we hear besides the paw beats of the owlbear is the just quiet crying of Voda. I assume, Voda, you're not like sobbing, but you're just kind of, we just see that, the little twinkle of a tear that drops off the face as your head is down.
Actually, I want to do, if you don't mind me taking this chance to be that person who's going to roll. I want to roll. I don't see it.
Yep. Okay. So Voda, you're there with Velka, I would assume. What is your demeanor like besides just obviously crying?
She's like very like curled up into herself. And as we move on and she kind of stops, she just kind of sits and watches the sky for a while.
You look up and you just see gray. You just see gray above you, around you, everywhere. It is, on one hand, probably maybe comforting. You almost feel like you're nestled in a blanket of mist that's around you. The
I will clarify, it doesn't matter what sky I'm looking at, it's always gray.
You're right. But you do... There is a bit of security where the evil of the world that you just encountered is feels sealed off behind you for a moment.
And the terrain around us is just forest.
You don't see any terrain.
Oh, just that heaviness.
In fog.
Okay.
Yeah, you've now, it's that point where the shadows of the trees and of rocks or foliage around you have all just disappeared into, maybe once in a while you see like a root cross the path, but you more or less just have like a 20 by 20 sphere around you that's just kind of moving. You're in the game loading screen, to be honest, but you
finally awakened.
Oh yeah, dude. Every single time you move from one place to the other. But in all seriousness, yeah, it's Clapperclaw looks back at everybody and you can tell that he's about to make a gallows humor joke. And then Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just laughing. So he's like about to.
He's about to do that, and you can almost feel that tension in the air. And then he just says, "You know what? Never mind. I feel like you all just went through something. All we had was just a good nap. Felt weird, like we went to sleep. Then we woke up and we were outside of this carnival. Just kind of felt odd."
Well, we've been in the Fae for a while. Sometimes it's hard to forget that the rest of the world is not quite the same.
Yeah, is the outside world usually so cruel? Like,
It can be.
oh, it seemed unnecessary.
Yeah,
Yeah, why do you think I was hanging out by the carnival all this time? You know, it's rough out here.
Yeah, Nutmeg, that was your first experience out, like, yeah, what is Nutmeg's take on that?
It's like, damn, what the fuck? Why did I leave home? This shit sucks.
I left all my
It's
goods
like-
at home.
Yeah.
Eh,
Outside's a harsh vibe.
Sometimes
yeah.
it just you
I mean, I
can't
guess
work
it's
your way
kind of
through. Oops, sorry, go
it's kind of that, like, hearing stories like, oh yeah, it's so different out there, so different out there, like, not believing, then you get there, you're like, oh fuck.
ahead.
Yeah, that's, whoops.
That was Nutmeg walking down, like, downtown San Francisco vibes.
Fucking
Just
idiot.
like, oh, God.
Oh, he's going down 4th Street.
After living in Happy Valley his whole life.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
walking down, it's like, hello, good sir. What day is it? Poo thrown
Fuck
at
you.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you, poo, pee. Like, oh, God.
Yeah. He lives in the land where, like, you just, like, talk to the mushrooms for fun all day and then, like, just getting bugged in alleys the next day.
I will make a note that Jacques, the pseudo dragon, eventually left Zug's head.
I think you made a point of that at the end of last session. That
I made a point that Voda was
okay.
away, but the pseudo dragon would like get off of his skull and come over to her.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be the moment when I feel that would look over and kind of get a read for what. Because I don't think I really quite got what you were going through. There was some interaction at the very end, though.
I think that would be I think that's a great
Yeah.
moment where Doug, you kind of hear that noise. You hear the noise of the pseudo dragon peeling off of your skull helmet. And you look up and see it flap its little ink wings and land on Voda's shoulder next to her and Velka. And we now do have Jacques art. Sorry, so not Jacques. Wait,
Oh.
Francois.
Yeah,
Wait, which one's Francois and which one's Jacques?
Francois the
Jacques
tentacle.
is
Oh, I need to fix
the
that.
I just named it or like renamed everything. I didn't realize you named the token too.
Yeah, the token follows the thing.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I should have just fixed that.
Yeah,
no worries, no worries.
Francois is tentacle, Jacques is pseudo dragon. I see it in the on the side.
Yeah, no, I know, but the
I was like,
It was
duh.
originally named Flipped, so the token was named.
Ah, gotcha.
Well,
I can't see the name of the token, so
oh, okay. So I probably look crazy then.
that's fine. So there, and like, yeah,
It's
so now
unrelated.
you can see. You have the
Ooh.
lovely Jacques.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's psychedelic as fuck. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, that's how you kind of imagined it, Eon.
It's like, why can't you see the token?
Token name, the name.
It's on the it's on the side though, under Voda's various wings.
Oh no, she means on the map right now.
It's on the map.
But there's
Yeah, we can't. Only Neon and Scuzz can see the name of the token on the map.
On the map, yeah.
So I
On
won't
the
lie.
side.
Every time I imagine Neon Pseudo Dragon, since it's made of ink, I kind of always imagined it like it was like a 2D drawing
Yeah.
of like a kid. So I always imagined it with like goofy eyes and a goofy face.
I might need to update that.
So you got the
Like,
psychedelic dragon and the monochrome slapper. These are 2 tokens.
All right, we're updating the art to be
that's almost exactly like my kind of imagining.
That's what it just looks like when it's on Zug's skull. It's like that printed on
I
the
was
side.
imagining multiple colors though.
I will make a
Yeah.
note that he is a inky, like,
Grippy
creature,
drink.
not a fucking solid
Right.
2D art.
So you have to make find one of watercolors.
There you go.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Sounds cool.
That one's so much like
It's
that
pretty.
one's so pretty though.
Alright. So
What
the
is that
dragon.
supposed
Oh.
to mean?
I want a 2-year-old to draw it.
No, that just
Very-
means that you get
It's a
Trogdor,
very
dude.
talented
Trogdor.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Well, it's better what I
That's,
can do. So
On a
That's
similar note,
that's the image. It's Trogdor is what it looks like when on Doug's head, 1000%.
I
Nice.
will
Mhm.
remind people this was Voda's job. She's not. She doesn't draw like a 2-year-old.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trogdor.
Terminator.
But
Classic.
it could have been like the
Awesome.
first thing that she
This
ever
was-
drew, and it's like, I'm
this
so
was-
proud of this.
Yeah, this was her job, but people, it wasn't because she got really good at it. It was because people felt bad for
Wow.
her.
Wow.
Persistency is a talent.
It's like she's trying so hard.
Oh my god.
Oh, that Trogdor is great.
The Yu-Gi-Oh version of Trogdor. All right, but
Okay.
back to the more serious
That's
things
how
at
Voda
hand.
started. That's how Voda's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I see
Zug, you
Jacques
feel
over there, yeah.
you feel Jacques peel off of your skull and flap over there, and it almost kind of
So I get a.
yeah. What does your feel like? That's a moment. What do you feel?
Well, it's one is kind of like, huh, that's odd, and then will be the realization of reading the room a little bit more carefully and seeing that this has impacted Voda much more, and then being a fairly intelligent kobold, I'll think through what my experience was and realize it's probably because of the violence that occurred. That's what
The
started this.
violence. Yes.
The violence. So
Everything
I
was
think
fine until the
violence.
happened.
The violence attacked. Yeah.
Until the violence
I'll scoot over towards, just gently towards Voda, and kind of look over. It's like, you doing okay? He's trying to yeah. I don't know.
And the pseudo dragon would probably crawl to the other shoulder between the two of them.
Is this because of what happened in the inn?
Isn't necessary.
Have you seen encounters like this? Have you had to fight in the same way? Is this first time you've seen this?
She kind of like actively doesn't answer. Probably
And this is
itself.
With,
yeah,
with
and then I
Ross's
think
high
oh.
perception, she aware of like this going on, and can she kind of read the room? Like, does it seem more like a Voda is directly angry or disappointed, or like whatever emotion is there at Zug or at the situation? Like, can I read that? Okay. Okay. Because basically this is going to determine whether or not. What do I get, Voda?
She seems overwhelmed.
And at this time also, Zug's kind of doing that thing where he's trying to find the right word for a moment, kind of starts and stops a sentence, and just kind of takes a breath. Maybe this will help. Well, Voda, you have to understand, when hard men want to do you violence, words will often fail. The only argument you can make is in their own language, and if you're loud enough, and forceful action may stop further harm to those who do not speak violence. There's no right answer.
As Zug is talking, can I continue to read Voda, because there's a real big piece of Rosin that wants to step in and tell Zug to just stop.
Okay, just keep, yeah, you can. I guess.
Probably before Rosin gets the chance, Voda would like side eye Zug and just like, Zayor is the only ones that died. And that was from you.
Wait, who else died?
They
No.
were the only ones.
Yeah, we all went non-lethal. You were the only one that went lethal.
And that may have been enough to stop them. You can never be certain. Sometimes, when you read the room, you've been in enough inns. You've been targeted enough. You've been tried to been killed by people who don't understand you. You have to speak first and loudly. It's not the right thing necessarily, but it may be the only thing that keeps you alive. I just hope you can understand that. I did not enjoy that. I'd make a little burp. That's not what I want to do. But sometimes you have to act first and seek forgiveness later. The world is not the Fae. And I've experienced too much of it.
Voda kind of looks up again, sits in the silence, and just goes, I thought that we were more alike than that, I guess. And would get up and sit on the other side of Velka.
Yeah, I'll read that and I'll let my shoulders drop and just kind of scoot back to the other side.
Doug, you get flashbacks probably to growing up in the though you were all subservient to some sort of dragon. Powerful being, squabbling and fighting amongst your dozens and dozens of brothers and sisters of your clutch was a common thing.
Yeah, so, and then that would also, I would add in the flashback, is the experience of traveling solo as a kobold through the Sword Coast and how he was treated going to different places and having to, unfortunately.
You get the montage of single kobold in a coat trying to enter a tavern.
Yeah.
Just
it's definitely the giant trench coat that's dragging on the ground behind him too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
One beer for a human man.
Yeah.
Says Zug as he enters the bar, and then you just see the bouncer walking up behind him, grabbing him by his trench coat and just throwing him out the door to the mud, like sad kobold eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking through looking off.
I think
Yeah.
when Voda flips sides with Velka, Velka will speak up. When the world affords you no mercy, it's important that you afford mercy to those who have not received it.
Is that to me?
Yep.
Mercy. It is a luxury, but one we should try to spread as much as we can. I agree. But it's not always prudent.
Mercy. Yeah, mercy. Mercy.
I just hope you can understand my point here. I can try to be... I can make no promises. But I will try to seek a less violent solution even in these situations. If it seems prudent, but only then. Our safety comes first.
I would agree. That being said, I do believe that in the situation we found ourselves in, all of the rest of us were able to afford them the mercy of their lives.
Yes, hindsight is 20/20.
We also got somebody killed.
That was not on us.
There's
And we
a
brought him back.
yeah, I think that's as Voda says that, you all probably feel that weight. We just get that flashback of a head hitting the ground.
We did not know.
I'm definitely gonna jump in here because Rawson's the one who let him out of the thing. Rawson's the one who grabbed him.
Yeah.
And Rawson was 100% the one who led him out, and so she's absolutely going to jump in now because wanted to say something earlier with Zug
About
mostly
that, yeah.
to cut Zug off, but also to just be like, Zug, you don't you don't need to apologize for acting the way that you did in the heat of a moment when something is. You don't always intend to act the way that you do. We did not intend for that person to die. We intended to right a wrong that we believed we were correcting. And it is what it is. This Nepenthe says he delivers justice, or they delivered justice. It's a sword. They say they deliver justice, but justice looks different for everybody. And obviously none of us agree with that version of justice the way that it was delivered. But what happened happened. We did our best. We promised to support, and we did what we thought was right. And the only thing we can do now is potentially be careful moving forward with who we choose to trust and who we consider allies in certain circumstances, but no one was in the wrong for how we acted in that situation. You're saying I'm wrong for pulling this...
We maybe should have known better. I mean, like, from the very start, Nepenthe, she had a pretty harsh vibe about her. It was... Right from the start, there was something wrong.
Did anyone stop what we were doing? Did anyone disagree with the fact that, hey, we're going to go correct this, get this stuff from this guy who lost something, and
It only shows that we're more to blame.
We
No,
could not
no.
have
We
known.
were involved.
We could not have known. All we can do now
And
is
if we
be
just
more.
stayed out of it, it might have not happened.
And if we had stayed out of it, we would still be stuck there.
if we had stayed out of it, that thing, the collar that Isolde and Nepenthe are so obsessed with, would have inevitably had something to do with this other person anyway. These people make their decisions, and was this person in the wrong place at the wrong time? Yes. Do I feel that this was an unfortunate turn of events, and it didn't have to end that way? Of course, but what has happened happened. And unless you have a spell or some magic to go reattach his head and revive him, it's happened.
That comment
We take
probably
it as a
looks.
lesson.
That comment probably looks like it physically hurt.
Rosin's
Totally like logic driven, so she's
Yeah.
just
Oh
like,
yeah, I know.
oh well.
and Zug's kind of just thinking through. I'm just kind of like nodding along a little bit. Rosin's right. We cannot change the past. Things are outside of our agency at times, and the worst thing we can do is not learn from it. So,
I believe
consider the lesson harsh, but
there are some wise words from a wise man. Don't be sorry, be better.
But I will point out that the world is hard, and sometimes you have to be hard back. But
We're fucking children.
Just funny considering we just, came back from helping children.
right.
Point
Just-
being, we afford mercy when we can. We trust only once trust has been earned. And we don't do favors without knowing the eventual outcome.
In the Fae, it's easier to trust favors because there's a code.
Mhm.
We're not in here. There's no code.
I
Remember
believe
this.
that spending so much time in the Fae has shifted our expectations of agreements.
I think so.
That's a really good point.
Revisiting this real fast, can we get a tally? How many people are originally from the Fae before having lost their home?
No.
Hi.
I know,
There's
Boogie,
the
we
three
found
of
you
us.
in the Fae.
I was briefly kind of kidnapped into the Fae, and I don't remember any of it. But I don't know how long I was in there.
I
think
believe
They're not
everybody
from there.
has some Fae
But I'm-
touchness.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm from the Fae.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah,
And I've been
four of
trying
us are from the Fae.
And the other two have been touched by it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to rehash that real fast.
Ye-
But Just out of character. Sorry.
And actually, I think this also explains, again, well, Zug is probably the most nonchalant about this because he's most been exposed to, well, the non-Fey world. The Fey's the new, different thing. It's more of a change from
I will
his,
say
his
Velka-
base frame impressions.
Velka and Voda have been in the material plane for a while, but it's been in the carnival and
We've been in the
visiting
carnival.
towns that the carnival's at.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's very different demeanor. Rawson's also been, she's been lost out of the Fae. In the material plane, like had to kind of create her own life and world and whatever.
Right.
So is and obviously just character-wise, the way that she thinks is different, but probably more aligned with Zug in the sense that like, yeah, shit happens. Like
Well,
it
after
doesn't always go our way.
Yeah, and yeah, my conversation on my points about how you have to sometimes just be hard probably didn't ring true for everyone else. But after, perhaps if there's a bit of reflection here after these conversations, I'll look over to Voda. Is there any way you will forgive me for my actions? Given the context? Or will that take time at the least?
Don't know, Zach. Then more directly, like, talking with the group is, it means the wrong choice. How do we know that we're still making the right one?
Didn't make the wrong choice. We made a choice. It didn't turn out the way we had hoped. Every choice has that path.
I'm nodding along as you say this.
The best we can do is our best.
It's
I also
true.
realized I went into a very different accent there.
It happens. We've all been there.
I was like, I started broaching like an Irish Scottish. It didn't happen the way we had hoped.
Point in case.
Yeah.
I gotta do a Bruges at some point. That'd be great. Gotta learn how to do it.
Voda does not look at all on this line of reasoning.
You're still looking upset. I'm assuming you're also not making any eye contact with me or looking in my direction.
Absolutely not with anybody.
Okay. I'll note that and just get back to vibing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not vibing. It's a wrong word. Mute or self-reflection.
Yeah.
What's happened?
I was just gonna say one like last thing in the sense of like we made a choice, we suffer the consequences. It is what it is. We move forward.
I'm gonna lean into Voda and just kind of whisper, were you holding the blade?
We still made the choice. We didn't even see other options. We jumped on the first thing that was offered to us.
We made the mistake. It
Are
happened.
you two?
but
Are
that,
you two just talking to each other?
Yeah,
Or
just
is this for
whispering.
the group? Okay.
Okay.
We made a mistake, but that was not our action. We did not kill that man. That was entirely her, and possibly the sword. But that was not us. We did not make that decision. We made a mistake. There is a difference.
I would say this next part like loud enough for people to hear. Still like partly a whisper, but I don't think I can be okay with my mistakes getting people killed.
Then
You're
we
in
do
the
better
long
next
line.
time.
You're in the the wrong line of work.
My work was art. I worked at the carnival.
I was
Always be
struggling
harsh.
so much saying that. I didn't even want to.
Our critics are notoriously violent.
I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I don't respond at all.
As an adventuring party in the why can't I say this in the long line of work? In the wrong line of work.
I will
Only
also
long
make note that
rhyme.
Voda was
Long
the only
rhyme
one that
is-
didn't want to go along with this.
Yeah, that is true. Voda, You want to save the carnival, yes?
He wouldn't get an answer.
The only way is that we wrench the grasp of the coven from the carnival is by moving forward on this path. We made the decision to move forward on this path. And unfortunately, we made a mistake and did not analyze well enough or did not have the information in order to make the right decision that would have come out with us ahead and no one dead. We did what we could. We made a mistake. We won't be so foolish in the future.
Is it still whisper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
This is
out loud again.
Voda is talking roughly normal volume.
Well, because
Okay.
in
We're
all
gonna
of
have
this, I was
conversation.
going to chime in and also just be like, also, consider how many lives have been redeemed thus far, based on the decisions that we have made, based on the risks that we have taken. I'm not saying one life is
not worthwhile.
sacrifice enough for the tens, potentially hundreds that have been saved, but it's not all bad. And then Rawson's gonna kind of just dismiss herself from the conversation. I know, well, we can't really go anywhere, so it's like,
Yeah, we're all in the cart.
Sits down.
turn around.
In the kind of soft silence that follows these statements that you're all kind of making to each other, start to hear a sound. And Boda, as you're looking up at what you believe is the gray sky above you, you see a flash of light streak across it, and then another, and then all of you begin to hear, muffled at first, but slightly getting louder, the sound of thunder, and again another streak of light, this time lighting up the gray around you like a silk screen and a flash bulb. I'll blink your eyes for a moment. Look down, and the terrain beneath the cart changed. The sound of the owlbear's paws are making a different sound as they now pad along on what looks to be a rocky gray path. The loam and dirt of the woods have fallen behind you. Another streak of light, and as you all start to hear the pitter-patter sound of rain hitting the top of the cart, bouncing off the balloons that are holding the cart aloft. It slowly starts to get louder and louder.
I'll try to druid craft a tiny umbrella out of a flower.
Yep. Totoro style, leaf above your head.
Yep, exactly.
I would shape water.
So it just goes around you.
Yeah, just this little dome. And like ink being washed away, suddenly the gray is blown away by a gust, a burst of wind as the cart creaks and rocks as the owlbear keeps itself moving forward. You look around and the scenery is stark difference from anywhere else you've been so far in Prismeer. You stand on a path that wends between rocky crags on a mountainside. The sky is dark and full of roiling thunderclouds. You are greeted by a howling wind that rocks the balloon cart back and forth. For a second, you see again lightning splitting the sky, streaking across, and it strikes a nearby mountaintop and illuminates a distant pinnacle of rock that has a foreboding castle carved out of it.
How much you want to bet that's where we're going?
Another crack of thunder. The rain pitter-patters down above. Continuing
Is it-
onward. Oh yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
is it
Any
actually?
questions?
Is it? So you're saying that it's being lit up by lightning? So is it really dark overcast, or is it?
Yes, it is very. It's almost like it feels like it's nighttime here.
Okay, so it's like a nighttime storm. Gotcha.
So let me bring you
Ooh.
over to a lovely
Ooh, map.
little map of
Map.
Yawn.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Oh, there's that bridge again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Right.
now we get a little bit of sense of okay, we can actually. Well, never mind. I'm looking at the map and
Pretty
not where
big
we're at.
Elden Ring vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a very angry symbol at the bottom left there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's kind of culty.
So the cart creaks forward, and you hear a little
This place.
squeak on your shoulder, Kiwi, as Squirt chimes in. There's a little hop. We made it! Guys, it's Yawn! We made it to Yawn!
Sure did, little buddy.
Wow. This reminds me of the mountains near home. I used to
In
go
a
up there all
good
the
way?
time. Yes. Oh, it was so fun to climb. Ah. Kind of sit back wistfully, looking around at the scenery.
The cart
Is it?
trundles
Oh,
forward.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it cold? Is it cold? What's like the temperature here? Because are we high
it's
up?
definitely
or-
it's colder. It's a
Okay.
colder vibe to it for sure.
Uh-huh.
So, as the cart kind of trundles forward, it's creaking and swaying in the wind, the rain falling off to the side of it. You all see another crack of lightning. And suddenly you see two figures standing on a nearby outcrop of rock, illuminated by the lightning as it streaks across the mountains. You also notice that as the lightning strikes, it hits what looks to be these pinnacles that are on top of these peaks, large objects, almost looking like weather vanes or lightning rods.
A huge
reach into the
elevation on
sky.
this. Yeah.
And as one of them gets hit, you watch the lightning connect to all of them. You catch it almost too fast for the eye to follow as it streaks off and hits the top of that castle in the distance.
From the.
fucking cool.
Okay.
So you can actually kind of see it on the map.
Yeah, it's on the map.
Yeah, so it shoots through them and towards the castle.
Yep. And every few minutes that's happening.
Sorry, you said every few minutes or seconds?
Yeah, every
Said
few
minutes.
like well the
Yeah.
lightning
Time
hits
is
them.
weird in the thing.
The lightning hits them every few minutes, and then you watch as you witness what seems to be almost like a discharge from the rods as there's a unanimous like and they all shoot lightning across, connecting to all of them, and arcs of lightning cross the sky and hit the top of that castle.
Okay. And I think back to conversation or notes or whichever they were from a long time ago. I know that Ruler Beyond is a perpetual night mountain range, has a thing for performances at the mountaintop theater. And look up at the castle. That's pretty on the nose.
You look forward.
So what is our plan?
Probably talk to those two folks.
Yeah, Zug points over at the once again the lightning illuminating two figures outlined against the stormy sky. One of them, as the lightning erupts again, you see is a slender female elf wearing what looks to be a crescent moon mask. And then the lightning flashes again, and you see the other is a 3-foot tall dandelion. that
Wait,
has a
what?
small
That's-
rapier strapped to its stem.
Okay. All right, sure.
Love the
We're back in the Fae. All right.
Wait. So it doesn't have hands. It just has a sword taped to
like
it.
wrapped around a vine.
Well,
Also,
I'm
those
not
two
a
definitely
fan.
standing there for way too long, waiting for dramatic entrance.
Yeah. We're all like, ooh, touristy, looking at all the sights.
Oh,
I
okay,
also
it is
have a
holding
note.
It is holding
Is this does the fact that it's a dandelion mean anything or tickle any?
There was
Old
mention of
gray metal?
Back in the carnival, there was the dandelions that we blew on.
Seeds. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because did we make the wish off those?
yeah.
That's okay. I don't know how it's connected. It's just dandelions.
Just as last I remember, dandelions coming up.
Yeah.
Dandelion is strangely relevant to this campaign.
All right.
You druid craft wind gust.
Yeah. So the other thing you
Kills
see
him
as well.
instantly.
The other thing you see as well, though, so the little 3-foot dandelion with the rapier strapped to its side, and you know what? So here, let me show you what each of these are. So you see, let me give you this. I'll give a little like screenshot of what the elf looks like, because I don't want to art just. That's the elf.
Okay.
And then
Wow, that is really a crescent moon mask. Wow.
yeah.
Yep.
And so you see the 3-foot dandelion, and then you hear, even against the wind and the lightning, you hear a low droning sound as you see a honeybee the size of an orange buzzing around the dandelion's bright yellow head.
Oh wow. Okay. Just a giant fucking bee, or is there anything special that stands out?
This looks like a giant bump.
Huh. All right. Definitely seems odd from where we're at.
There you go.
I love him.
Hey, it looks like
will-
a backyard right now.
Holding a sword and a magnifying glass.
Glass is not there.
Why was it actually does look like it's holding a magnifying glass.
Oh,
Fine.
Investigate a dandelion.
Also, I just realized before he deleted it, they were straight like stabbing a thistle.
Yep.
Okay,
Can't
question.
have any weeds around here.
What do I imagine as a dandelion? Because I thought the puffy white things were dandelions.
No,
Yes,
those are-
that's after they
both
seed.
dandelions.
See the bottom
Yeah.
right on that? That's the seeded dandelion. The flower
Yeah. The
pre-
white dandelions happen like 2 weeks later.
they haven't been bee sexed yet.
Okay, so that's still a dandelion.
Yes, the dandelions are those yellow
Okay,
fluffy
If I
flowers.
blew on this dandelion, it wouldn't blow away.
No, it needs to be bee
I
sexed
blew on
first.
the little the
It might be blown away.
I mean,
Regardless.
damn it.
So yeah, if a bee
Fine.
blows it, then you can blow it.
also, this is absolutely a conversation in this cart as they're just standing there on a rock as we're stopped looking at them. Did you blow a
Yeah,
dandelion? They're probably hearing snippets of like, blow a dandelion, blow a dandelion, you blow a dandelion.
And now he's getting really excited.
Yep.
Oh boy!
Yeah, his little vine skirt is popping up.
Visitors.
Oh, that took a turn. Anyways, I think if we're sitting here like we're getting close to them, I'll actually stand up, kind of scamper to the front up next to Copperclaw, kind of wave. Hi!
You see
You're a
that-
flower!
Yeah, as you
I mean, that's rude.
as you
He's a
scamper up to the
dandelion.
front, you see that the elf is the first one to notice your arrival, and she points in your direction as you wave at the front of the cart, Zug, and your voice carries over the wind. The dandelion draws its rapier and assumes a defensive pose. The honeybee buzzes more loudly as it flies circles around the two of them, almost protectively.
Oh, god damn it. Not again.
Defending the local wild.
We come in peace.
Like-
One thing you see, Rosin, you notice this with your passive perception being so high that with the next flash of lightning, you notice that the dandelion and the bee are there's something different about the dandelion and the bee from the elf. The lightning flashes, and you can see the shadows of the little dandelion plant and the bee, but the elf casts no shadow.
Whoa.
Mm.
I'm
I
probably.
would.
Oh.
I was just gonna say I would like to druid craft a like a. I don't know flowers well enough to know what flower may be a friend of a dandelion, so I'm just
Another
gonna.
dandelion.
I'm just
Clearly not a
No,
thistle,
because no
though.
weeds will eat
Dandelion.
anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna druid craft another dandelion and just kind of hold it out and be like. Hey,
Meanwhile, Zug is out there like, "Hey, we're new in town. We're just trying to pass through. We're just going up there. Okay, is that fine?" Like I'm just doing that whole like yelling across the wind, trying to be like, "Yeah, we're cool, right?"
We're
Yeah,
cool.
you own
We're
these
cool.
streets.
While that's happening, I take my brush and paint a little bee on my throat, and I cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Nice.
Rawson is also
That bee
going to,
buzz.
very slow, softly whisper to the crew, because I imagine we are well far enough away for them not to hear if I were to whisper. Just be like, she has no shadow.
To us,
Yeah.
like for
I
us
wonder
all.
if
to
someone
hear.
stole it.
I'll definitely notice that after you mention
Yeah.
that.
Does that mean anything to me?
No, not really.
Or to any of us? What
It's an
we
odd, it's
would.
an odd thing that she has no
Okay.
She
shadow.
might have given it away in a deal.
Yeah, it could have been what was.
Or maybe she's
Oh,
She's Peter Pan.
could be an illusion.
Peter
Illusions
who?
don't cast shadows. They do not cast shadows.
You hear the voice call out over the din of the wind, seemingly to come from the dandelion. Thou be friends or thou be foes?
Guess
Oh,
it
very much
depends
friends.
if to return something that was stolen.
Very much friends, you say?
Oh, it is.
Friends. Yep. Does it seem like it's coming from the flower or the?
Yeah,
elf?
the flower is speaking.
Okay. It's not the weirdest thing we've seen.
The elf leans over.
We were literally led here by a oil.
Yeah.
But
I somehow think that's more believable.
yeah, our guide is a scarecrow.
Yeah, Beauty
One of
and
our
the
guides.
Beast does that, man.
The flower turns its dandelion head to the elf and says, "They say that they are friends, Gleam. Maybe we should trust them. They could maybe be able to help us with our predicament that I and my love are in." He looks, the head turns to the honeybee.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God.
I was making a joke about bee sex, but actually,
Yo,
God damn it.
turns out, dandelion's already blown.
Based on his head, he's a murderer.
Oh, they fucking.
The
And
elf,
we hear their conversation.
yeah, the
Is
elf
it loud enough
nods. The elf nods silently, and they hop their way down towards the cart that is stopped in the middle of the road. The dandelion steps forward and says, "Hello, friends. My name is Amador. Amador the dandelion. This here is my true love. Her name is Pollenna. Pollinella. Queen
That's-
bee.
That's a good name.
Beatrice.
That's pretty.
What a
on the
lovely
nose, you know?
union.
Oh, and also, this here is my traveling companion and friend, Gleam." Gleam bows, and it is very nice to meet all of you. You seem to be travelers. She looks over the cart.
No,
Give it away.
Yeah.
Or at least a performance.
You are the very first flower to notice that about us.
That was the elf that said
The
that.
elf did say that.
Oh,
However,
That was
Gleam-
a compliment. He's calling you beautiful. Take it.
Gleam does lean forward and looks knowingly at Boda and Kiwi. Her eyes behind the mask grow wide as she says, Witchlight Monarchs. You know of the Witchlight Carnival?
Very much so. In fact, I spent some time around there before becoming monarch. Turns out, anyone can be a monarch.
Velka, Voda, and Kiwi, I need you each to give me history checks, please.
Hey, this is like I think the first character I've ever had that's proficient in history.
Kiwi does not know nothing, or doesn't know nothing.
That's right.
Voda know nothing. And maybe, Velka, you can explain maybe why you know this, but there's a brief moment of clarity as you recognize this. You recognize this person in front of you, not so much because you've met them before, but because you've heard of them and their description.
Mm.
This one is, you recognize them as one of the Selenleon twins, who were
Selenleon?
S-E-L-E. Yeah, Selen Elion. I have no fucking idea how to pronounce
It's a joke based off of Latin.
Selen. Oh, really?
Yeah, moon and sun.
Oh,
Selen. Yeah, Selen.
Oh.
Selen.
That's my assumption. So
Selene
Yeah.
and Helion. So
yeah,
Selen-
it's a-
Helion.
No, so you're right.
Selene
It is.
and
So they were
Selene.
a pair of high elf acrobats that performed at the Witchlight
The other
Carnival.
one named is Glow.
They were Gleam
Oh,
and
Glow.
Glimmer.
Oh,
Oh,
Gleam and
okay.
Glimmer.
Glimmer, huh? Okay.
Is this one they got up to?
Wait, let me just
Change
double check
races.
that. No, sorry, not
elves and
not
humans
Glimmer,
going to Feywild.
not Glimmer, Gleam and Glister.
Glister.
Glister. There's a word you
That
don't use too
sounds
often.
real.
Yeah, that's
though.
a-
That glisters is not.
I gotta see what
gold.
that means.
It
Oh,
just
it's a brand of toothbrushes. Huh.
Ah,
makes me think of
So,
glitter.
you
It's
know-
not pretty.
SpongeBob reference.
The quality of shining with a bright reflected light. Okay.
Like with a G.
Like
Gleam
glisten.
and
Glister and glisten are similar. Yeah.
So, Velka, you remember hearing about them. They were high elf twins, performed amazing acts of balance and agility, acrobatics at the Witchlight Carnival. They were the Selenleon, whatever, Hellion twins. That was their stage name. And that actually is a term, apparently, that means a celestial event during a lunar eclipse in which the sun and the eclipsed moon can be observed at the same time, either just before sunset or just both bodies.
Chuckles
Okay.
right this section.
Shut up.
That I will speak up. Gleam, Selenial. Blah, 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 blah.
Selenial.
Gleam, Selenialon. Yes?
It's the French accent.
The last name at
Leon.
least ring a bell with me.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, you've heard of them.
Yeah. I
They
would say
disappeared.
we
You know
probably
that they've
straight up
disappeared
heard
from
of
the fair.
them because we're twins.
Exactly.
Somebody's like, oh,
the
hey,
second
you guys are
here's the-
twins like they used to be. Well,
Well,
they're
guys-
Twins all know
sorry.
each other.
The second she hears the last name, immediately gets excited compared to what she has been.
Yep. Selenialon.
It's exactly a contraction of Celine Helion.
Yep.
And
So,
so
that's-
you
yep.
the other thing
That's
too
fun.
that you've heard is that these two disappeared mysteriously from the carnival. And when you kind of can understand probably what happened, but when they disappeared, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light just said that they decided to pursue other endeavors. Because back then they were still hiding what was really going
Such.
on.
Okay, I would say that's some corporate speak for.
Yeah,
They're
were
dead.
they're seeking other opportunities. Is like corporate speak for they fucked up, they did something wrong, or
They
like
got
it's
axed,
yeah.
Mhm.
literally.
So,
It's not working out.
Yeah.
You and
Oh.
is Glister male or female?
So, that is a interesting thing. You have heard that they were fluid.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's go.
They were fluid.
Yeah.
Fluid. Yep.
Gotcha.
So you and your sibling went missing some time ago. Before we were part of the carnival.
Voda has crawled out of the carriage and is pulling out a notebook and walking over to them.
And Velka is a step behind, making sure she does not get like right up in their face. Because I know who my sister is. So what happened to you? Did not seem likely that you just left.
No, we were led through the mirror and found ourselves here. And, well, we ended up, unfortunately, taken in by Endlin Moongrave. And as that name is spoken, Kiwi, Nutmeg, and Velka all feel that kind of subwoofer thud in your chest as a pull starts to, you feel a longing and a pull for something that has been missing.
I need to have a conversation with Endlin, or at least steal something back from her. So I do believe that we are alive.
That's pretty cool.
Bad news.
We were brought to Endlin, and my sibling and I, my twin and I, became part of her show. She is, well, we were, as you know, we were stars in the Witchlight Carnival, and now my sibling, my twin, is still imprisoned in the castle. Still imprisoned in, and she pauses for a moment. Endlin stole my shadow. He has these scissors she uses. He snipped it off. And then now it's been... She gleams head, bows down, almost in a shameful look. My shadow is now doing Endelin's bidding. Finding those at the carnival bringing them here to Yon.
Oh!
And you guys, I think you do remember, somebody mentioned that there was a strange moon-faced or moon-masked shadow that was that was around the carnival, or seen in like the darkness of the carnival.
It's in my some of the notes.
So that means that we have a shadow to get. We have what I'm missing to get. And we also have, I believe we were going to fuck with her in some other fashion, ruin her performance, something like that.
Rattle.
Well, even bigger than that. We're seeking to we're seeking big things. Big things.
The dandelion speaks up. Where were thou tryingest to go? I would love to be of help if I would reciprocate to help. I am an adequate, if not expert, guide and can lead you to multiple destinations if you were to possibly also help me in my predicament that I find myself and my love in.
I
looks up to the bee.
Add into the guide tab.
I look back to the cart with the scarecrow, the oil can, and the frog.
Clapperclaw looks back at you guys and just like, this guy's kind of weird. He's
Yeah, it's just
tries to
complete
like in like a
collection.
voice that he thinks is low but is obviously loud enough that like anybody can hear it. I think he's fucking that bee.
And Zug's like, shh, shh, shh. No, of course, but shh, keep it down.
Yeah. We can help, hopefully. What is it that you need us to do?
Oh, I am so glad that you asked. You see? Well, I am on the run, as it may be, after
how
freeing
fun.
my love, Pollinella,
Boom.
the queen bee of from a notorious beekeeper. It seems that they are, well, looking, unfortunately, to, well, find me and hurt me.
I look at the bee and give it a questioning look, like, is this accurate, or did you just kind of leave?
The bee just looks back and is like,
I have speak with animals on.
I
let's
love
see.
speaking of animals. It's so good.
This man has kidnapped me. Please save me.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Being trafficked.
Please help me! I need to be. No.
Oh, shit.
No. The bee looks to you. Do you just buzz at it, Boda?
I mean, I would give it a directed look, but I wouldn't make it immediately like I was talking to it.
The bee says in a bumblebee-esque voice, "He is my love. I love him so much. We are partnered for life. I am so glad that he liberated me from that vicious structure and day-to-day doldrum of being the queen bee in that hive. Freedom suits me better. Isn't that right, my love?" And then that's all everybody else hears as the bee just kind of flutters around the dandelion's head. Amador speaks out again. If I would like you to keep an eye out, hopefully, for this terrifying beekeeper, but I am a gallant and chivalrous knight, and therefore I actually ask that if you are able to help out my companion here, Gleam, reunite with their sister, with their twin, and also reunite with their shadow, that would be, well, more than enough for me to guide you to, well, I can guide you to the palace, if you do so wish to go there.
Sug looks back and looks at over everyone's head. There's like guide level 1, guide level 2, and this one has guide level 3 over their head.
Mm-hmm.
And also, actually, more.
Also,
go ahead.
Just like added to the collection tab.
Yeah, exactly. I will, and more seriously, taking kind of the conversation we just had to heart, take a deep breath, and just really try to read their intentions as best I can before making any statements. If they're being genuine or conniving. Which
Google eyes at each other.
Right.
Give me an insight
Really-
check.
I have faith in this bee flower.
Oh,
Love.
Not
Yeah.
sure.
I love this bee flower.
not sure. Well, actually, this is fine because Zug is still sure regardless. He's just trying to double it up. I see he's made up his mind already.
Gleam smiles as Amador gives this
Huh?
valiant speech, and Gleam says, "If you were to help me, I would be forever grateful. I'm sorry, what business do you have here in yon Witchlight Monarchs and such? And obviously, coming from the material plane, I would assume. You are far from home, yet you seem to have some unusual companions with you." They look over at and just kind of observe Clapperclaw, Squirt,
The whole
Morgort.
thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
well, we were sent by Mr. Witch and Mr. Light to wrench control of the carnival from the hourglass goblin.
The eyes behind the mask light up. That is so? And you are sent by powers above. This is excellent. Amador, they are perfect. If they help us, you must bring them to the Palace of Heart's Desire. They can freeze Iblina and make this realm right again. Amador stabs his rapier into the ground next to him. Ah, yes. Valiant and chivalrous acts are to be done. Honor dictates that I will help you, Gleam, and these before I lead them to the Palace of Heart's Desire. But there is much to do. There's much to discern and figure out before we can... The Motherhorn is a fortress on its own, and from what I have heard, there's been rumors and murmurings of security being heightened due to some incidents in other areas of Prismere.
How about that? Also, Zug's kind of looking at, I think, probably Velka here. And if anything, is sort of disapproving after being someone speaking about being careful, diving right into just agreeing. Granted, it's the Fae, but that's still. I'm still giving that look. I'm kind of like, really serious.
Also, though, there is a history of the person that we are talking to.
Sure, I don't know that. I'm still giving it a look.
Yeah, I did mention it.
Yeah, Zug's like half paying attention.
Fair enough.
You mean you're not paying attention?
Yeah, Gleam speaks
I'm fully
up.
paying attention.
Gleam speaks up again, and she mentions that, well, there is some... I have some information from when I was a guest. She uses the word very lightly. Of Endelyn at the Motherhorn. You see, Endelyn believes that her death is to occur during an eclipse. This is what she foresaw in her future. Because there is no moon or even sky over this realm of Yon, gestures up, and you see, yeah, the night sky here has no moon.
It has no moon because we can't see it. Like, there's just so much cloud.
No, it's...
Or is it just a black emptiness?
No.
Black
What are we looking
emptiness.
at? Okay.
The hag, Endelyn, she assumes that this eclipse will be a symbolic display rather than a literal one.
Ah, a total eclipse of the heart, yes.
So when we were found, me and Glister, she decided that this could possibly be just that. We are the symbolic living... We are the living embodiment of the moon and the sun. So...
Is that why she targets your shadow?
She nods. Endelyn decided that it would separate us. She released me and severed my shadow and is keeping my twin, Glister, as a guest. He thinks that this will forestall her doom.
Oh, I think we can work with this.
Ironically, I do believe that her keeping the shadow close means that it is more likely to be cast on the sun, being your twin. So that actually seems like a lapse in logic on her part.
Well, the shadow would technically be cast on us, not the sun. The sun is shadowing through the moon onto the surface of the planet. It's casted with celestial alignments and its orbital mechanics. And, it's fine.
My little kobold friend, I think you're overthinking this.
Yeah, dude, this is the Fae. You don't gotta think about shit here. Just
Is this Zug or is this Chuckle?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason. I mean, I'm telling you right now, there's a reason I gave Zug as much intelligence as I could. I wanted to be a kobold who overthinks
Wanted
things.
to give
which is-
in for once.
Yeah. I played dumb characters for like years now, so I was the one who can actually think.
Ironically, Zug is the character that's the least Zug.
Yeah. Layers here.
So, Gleam continues on.
Anyway.
Either way,
Point-
it's still. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Gleam
Point being that it seems foolhardy to keep the part of the moon that makes it an eclipse nearby.
But we know the shadows. That's carnival.
Well,
It sounds like it goes in carnivals.
Yes, just like the pig girl of what the fuck was the last one's name?
Tabitha.
Scabatha,
Yeah.
thank you. The pig girl was Scabatha.
Sure. I also think we can use this to our advantage. If we notice she's terrified of an eclipse, well, if we try to mess up a performance, I think we have a good idea what to do.
Yes, we can free your sibling. We can retrieve your shadow, and then we can cast an eclipse upon her, and then stab her or something. I don't.
Wait, no,
Something.
that's. I look. As you said, I look over to Voda.
I was just gonna say, Voda does actually look like tense when that's brought up.
Not literally.
Figuratively stabbed.
Just
facts
to be
and
able to
logic,
run
I
away,
don't know.
right? Like,
in Minecraft.
Just stab her with a
Minecraft.
literally metaphorical sword.
Stabbed by fear.
Yes,
Oh, did
we
you
will.
guys hear about that
It's
news
too
about
brute.
the in Minecraft thing?
Yeah.
No?
Talk about that afterwards. Interesting.
Oh, okay. I'm curious.
Gleam does continue though, and she
Later.
gives some more information about her time as a guest at Motherhorn. She says, I learned a lot of information from overhearing Endelyn and her minions talk. She spoke of a clan of strange creatures, stout fey creatures with hair the strength of iron, named Koreds. These Koreds, well, they gather and dance at Lochbury Henge. It's visible from some of the mountaintops nearby. She also spoke to a elf prince named Elagarthus while we were still her guest. He made some sort of deal, a bargain with Endelyn, and I believe now he finds himself trapped here in Yon as well. They say that he is at the Fey Beacons, searching for a way home. Oh, and lastly, he looks over at Velka and Voda. Another of the Witchlight Carnival employees had made their way here. The brother of the chief of security, Hurley.
I was just looking at that earlier today. Holy shit! Sorry, Kara.
He made a
That was.
he made a bargain with Endelyn as he arrived here, but he is quite unhappy with how things have played out. He is now forced to perform in her theater, like with Glister and the others.
We will get them out. I
Oh, I
made a
got it.
promise.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna write this all down. I'll do it later. I'm gonna ask you to go through it again because I wasn't writing it down as you're going through it. But
So
Amador pipes up again. He says, "My first concern will always be with my lovely Polinella's safety. But I will help you, and I will help Gleam. Honor dictates that we reunite Gleam and her twin."
was he talking in rhyme this whole time?
nice.
I did not mean for that to
We're getting meta up in this.
Right.
It's getting a little loopy out there.
Alright. Gleam and Amford converse for just a quick moment, and they both say, I think that we can make our way to... In order to get into Motherhorn, we need some sort of plan. There's Unfortunately, it is quite. The security is now quite high, but I do hear that. Well, the rivals of the Koreds, the Biganox, they have a secret entrance somewhere in their mine, but that is hard to get to. You could always pose as an acting troupe and make your way in there. Endelin is always looking for new talent.
That sounds like fucking.
I look at Velka and just go, some of us can pose as an acting troupe.
What do you mean? I am a wonderful actor. And
What the odds yonder window
go
breaks?
into reciting Hamlet.
Yeah, I just.
Very poorly.
Hit me some bars.
No, that's okay.
To
That's
take
okay.
arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them, and
No, why would I do that? Obviously, it's going to be to be or not to be.
Yeah, that's further on that exact.
Yes, but you start there because of the be.
I'm just
I think there's
imagining
only one
instead of
bee.
like that is the question.
Everyone's
You
just-
say, that's
Well,
what
I
we
think there is a
asked.
bee. Right there.
Everyone's just shaking their head at this point. No, it's actually the face slap from Airplane
No.
or face palm.
So,
How are you with my brother?
as you all kind of discuss what you want to do next, we're gonna take a quick break.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah, when you said the face slap, I was thinking.
Yeah, this is awesome. There's-
Let's take a quick 5-minute break.
break,
And we'll
okay.
be back as we descend further into Yawn.
if you're still,
At
if you are here or during the break, I want to just get some notes written down.
I gotta go to the
Or when
bathroom.
you
I'll
get
be back in a sec with some...
Okay.
All right, 5 minutes. Be right back.
Okay.
has ignored it entirely, almost.
Cool.
Correctly ignored it. Okay, so
Correctly ignored it.
we return to the party as you are
This is a
making your
DM who
way.
wants to move forward.
As you are standing out here in this perpetual night sky, with the wind and the lightning flashing above and thunder in the distance, droplets of rain falling upon the top of your carriage as you speak to a dandelion in love with a queen bee and a elf acrobatic performer. And Gleam speaks up. I think that it would be wise for us to seek out the help of the Corrids at Lockbury Henge. If this is you, I think that they would be of great help, knowing a little bit more about Motherhorn.
Would that put us at odds with the ones who know the secret path in?
Speaks up again. I don't think that they... I think they're not at odds. I think there's just some miscommunication, and Amador speaks up. Yes, I do believe that we could right some wrongs with just a few correct words of correction, a meeting of minds maybe. Pairing those that are at odds with each other could be good and create an alliance that could be used against Endelin.
So we're going to sign the Geneva Convention under the Matterhorn.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds like a good idea if that happens to be some sort of truce that we barter.
Yeah, right, and we will be doing our best to prevent any unnecessary violence and creating an environment of inclusive agreement. And I just side-eye Loda.
She doesn't look, but not because she's ignoring, but she looks uncomfortable with the when it was brought up of the two feuding, essentially.
Because there's okay. Well, that does seem reasonable, and if we're able to help, that does seem to be a good place to start.
Very good. Then, if you do not mind, I do believe that, well, Polena and I and Gleam will be able to fit upon thine cart. Can we travel with you all?
Is there room physically on this cart?
The cart. Look back as you ask that, and the cart has grown another couple feet behind.
I love the Feywild.
I
Holy
fucking
shit!
love the Fey,
Okay,
dude.
yeah, sure. Let's get this fucking magic school bus on the road.
Clapperclaw.
Every time you need to, your sedan just turns into a minivan.
Yeah,
Fucking
Clapperclaw
awesome.
just is like, oh, as long as you stop talking weirdness to that, honeybee, I'm fine with you being on board.
I don't know. I think it's a wonderful union.
I give him an elbow nudge and it's like, don't try to stifle love.
They were all about love, George Harrison.
Ah, you know what? You're right. Love is love. It's what it's all about. So wrong of me to think otherwise. You know what? Who am I to say who you can love and who you can't love? It's all
I think
good.
I would like to make
monologue.
I think it's less about who you love and about the public displays of affection that are kind of getting to some of us. So maybe tone it.
It's
You look over
Is
as
Rosin uncomfortable right
You
now?
look over at Polena, as Polinella and Amador. Polinella is just like face deep in Amador's.
No,
Bruh.
absolutely not.
I think that counts as foreplay.
No.
Yeah.
Let's just play.
Oh, behave! Oh, not in front of others. No, Polinella, no.
Please, please,
No,
listen.
no, that's
You know
my
what?
stamen.
You know what?
Stop it!
Oh gosh, it's just heated as a bot now. Oh no.
I accidentally deafened, but I'm not too mad at it.
I was gonna meme and cast invisibility on both of them.
Nice.
Oh, we can still hear them.
Yeah, oh my god, what a... Okay. Just imagine some characters be like, yes, okay, we'll give you some privacy, and then just go invisible, you start, like, the sounds get way worse.
Yup.
There's
Oh,
something
no.
about this being a flower and a bee that makes this whole situation worse than if it were just like
fucking.
humanoids. Like
Because
something
they can
about
just
it.
look like they're cuddling and they're straight up fucking.
Well, it's completely alien to our own ideas of what that means for intimacy.
Yeah.
That's probably the core of it.
Like the fact that like this bee is gonna come out with some yellow pollen
All over it.
on her, all over
Leave
it,
it
and it's
all
like,
over you.
oh!
All over the
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Does anyone have summon hand sanitizer?
That's a
have
prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation, baby.
Water splash it all over.
Prestidigitation
pollen.
for my eyes and ears.
Also, if by the way, get back to this, if they're jumping in and joining our cart, I will actually crawl up to the front
Okay.
and sit with Clapper Claw and Squirt. I want to be up front now.
After a little bit, Zach, you would feel something on your shoulder as the pseudo dragon like lays back down.
Bop.
I'll look over at it, kind of cock my head, and just, if I can, just give a little pat on its head, and return to looking forward.
It like
it
squishes.
feels like your hand.
Yeah.
It feels like your hand should come back with like covered in oil, and yet somehow it's not.
All right. I'll sit up a little taller.
Well, we now know forgiveness looks like a pseudo.
Engines are magnificent. It's nice when it's very well telegraphed.
Like a good Final Fantasy boss.
Yeah. Engines are magnificent.
That's where I get my buffs. I'm a fire mage.
Doesn't matter. I'm a warrior. Don't care.
Also, you definitely need to get those stacks up.
So
Yeah.
the cart trundles onwards.
I'm fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Trundle.
Sorry, I just probably was
Damn you.
The cart moves forward. The owlbear groaning a little bit as it gains a little bit more weight, but it's able to pull it. Luckily, this floating cart is very easy to navigate, and you make your way along this craggy pass towards where Amador directs Clapperclaw to keep navigating. Another flash of lightning in the distance, and up on a peak, you can see what looks to be a henge of some sort. As the path winds toward it, you round a corner, and the owlbear lets out a groan, almost like an exasperated groan, as you see, standing in the middle of the path as it widens out in the gully, 3 giant goats.
Oh, fuck yes. Billy Goat Gruff. Cletus!
God.
The goats each look up, their silvery gray fur blowing in the wind, the light illuminating them from behind. Another and each of them cocks their head up like they're hearing something as the wind blows past their fur, their wizened faces looking like they understand something that the wind speaks to them, their strange square irises, golden hourglass-shaped pupils, observing you all closely as they watch you approach.
I rub the bumblebee drawing off of my throat and draw a goat and cast Speak with Animals again.
You know what? I'm going to do
Smoking
this.
some more of those red caps.
I'm also going to
Also,
speak
are there
cast.
corpses under the rocks?
I am casting Speak with Animals as well, seeing the goats. Just to prepare them.
Great. Well, the goats speak on their own regard as they
Oh,
start
fuck.
speaking Elven.
But
Shit! We get prepared with the wrong language.
Cletus has betrayed me this whole time.
this was a fruitful goat.
Wait, did you
I
say
know-
Elven?
I know
Sorry, did you say Elven or
Elvish. Elvish.
Okay, never mind. I don't know it.
I know Elvish. I think we have the same language.
I know. I
No.
know.
I
I
only
know.
know Common and Sylvan.
So knowing Sylvan though, like those who know Sylvan know Elvish, I would say, because it's like Sylvan is Latin to Spanish. of
Yeah,
Elvish.
imagine it's like Spanish and Italian. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna go with Swedish and Danish, but yeah.
I guess
makes
that
sense.
would just mean that I'm more fluent in Elven than
We'll just make
Voda?
terrible like
You know Latin, Voda knows Spanish.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the first
I
goat,
also know Latin.
the first goat bleats out. When the moon obstructs the sun, creeping Lynn will come undone. All of you nod as this is a known thing. It's a prophecy. This is the prophecy that you've heard now
No.
multiple times about Endelin being afraid
Prophet
of.
goat is a new one though.
The second
I was
goat
about to say
steps
that.
forward, its golden hourglass eyes staring at you, and it bleats out, "Play to her passions. Stay on script. A cat, a horn, or a shadow ripped."
Ooh. Okay.
these are weird things to be saying to strangers.
The third goat steps forward and opens its mouth, and then closes its mouth as it takes a It closes its mouth for a moment. Excuse me. And it takes a large shit on the ground.
That one's Cletus, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Don't know what I expected, to be honest.
Cletus in the later years.
And it-
Wyatt is gone, and he has gained sentience.
The other two goats look at it concerned with looks of like judgment. The other goat seemingly just shrugs its shoulders and then steps forward and says, "The fool's scepter is the key." And then backs away and bows.
Oh, can you just write it down, or maybe if you copy paste it, what those statements were?
It just says, "When the moon obstructs the sun, creeping Lynn will come undone."
Oops, the sun creeping.
Yeah. Oh, if Derpy has them, she can share them.
Okay, I got that. I just need the second one now.
Okay. And after speaking these words, the goats all step forward, line up next to each other, and bow in unison. And then they all stand there, almost like expectantly.
I immediately give a polite applaud.
Oh, I'll join. Yeah.
Just marvelous, marvelous.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
They
Little
still stand
kobold
there.
paws
They
slapping.
they bow again. Then stand there expectantly.
Encore!
Some, I don't want to throw coins at them. I want to throw something.
I throw
Oh.
the pine cone torch that I got.
Molotov cocktail door. Okay.
Oh god.
Oh,
No,
well, maybe I will
pine
just throw some
cone.
coins.
Mm-hmm.
Pine cone, yeah.
Of course. I will try to. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
While
don't
you
have
throw
anything.
that, do I have any sense of,
I don't even have any copper pieces. Never mind.
as a druid, do I get any insight on their goat body language? Are they
Give me
expecting
an animal handling check.
food? Are they?
As a performer, do I have any insight?
Yeah,
into what they're
give me
looking
an
for?
insight check.
Ooh,
Moto.
20.
As an investigator, do I?
This is good.
Do I have a
Yeah,
kind
insight,
of
insight.
advantage?
This is good. We're approaching it from many angles to try to figure out what's happening with these three.
You can give me a performance check, Voda, as well.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll do
thank God.
And
performance
Kiwi,
as well.
Kiwi, no,
Okay.
that's good. Yeah, nice.
Oh, okay,
cool,
whatever.
Sick, good. Oh, yeah, lovely, cool. All these numbers.
Oh,
Zog, you can tell that you observe and see that each of these goats, one of them licks their lips expectantly. Rosin, you with well, let's see, Voda and Kiwi, you both know that this was staged as a performance, though interrupted by a goat shitting itself. It was still a performance nonetheless. A performance deserves some sort of payment or some sort of compensation. And Rosin, you look around and you realize, even in your own head, 3 goats, rule of 3. Information was given. What's to be received?
have food.
I would say I would Druid craft a carrot and
I
use it
have.
for
I
it.
have.
Ah.
Does druid crafting actually like?
Yep.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can
Then
make,
I will. Then I will
small
also.
plants. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I will. Then I will also druid
A
craft.
sea pod.
That's not a plant.
I
That's
don't
a
want to do flowers. Yeah, I
What the
don't.
fuck?
Like, I don't think I want to do flowers because dandelions in the cart.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
looking
Now-
hungrily. As the longer you wait, the more
I
hungrily they
also
look
druid
at
crafted
Amador.
I also.
I gave him a pine cone.
Like now I'm double checking this just to make sure.
Covered in oil.
No.
Oh, it
What
just says the
about
effect
this-
must fit in a 5-foot cube, so it can be pretty
Oh
large.
right, it's like
It's
a like.
It's a fucking,
naturally
it's a
No,
fucking
it's a
endwalker-sized carrot.
I was like, yo,
Lopper carrot.
it's a box of veggies.
Yeah, I'll do
Hello,
it. Maybe we
fresh
both do that. Yeah, hand them out. I don't get the sense that there's any rule of 3 stuff here. I just see them hungry, so I'm just going to give them nom-noms.
Okay. Voda, what do you... Voda or Kiwi, do you do anything with your insight?
I gave him the pine cone.
They ignore the pine cone. It smells funny.
Oh,
Key would pull out, 3 rations, 1 for each of them, and offer it over.
Okay, yeah, so
They all look like so many hungry kids.
they come forward after they see you approaching. They see the 4 of you approaching. They acknowledge the pine cone. One of them picks it up and just kind of puts it in its mouth and like.
I look at them. I look at them with a sad look,
Was it the one that pooped?
and then say, I work on the performer's salary."
They bow, and as they bow after eating the carrots, the rations, and attempting to chew upon the pine cone, which one of them trots over and puts back in your lap with some slobber in it. But,
I immediately prestidigitate.
they bow and then bound up the kind of avalanche style thing here, just doing billy goat shit and just boinging their way up along the ridge. Boing, boing, boing. And after they do, you notice that the ground underneath where all this rocks are.
Roxas.
No, don't
Rocks.
get me started, please. No. There's no Kingdom Hearts here.
Wake
The
the
rocks rumble, and you see them move, and you actually recognize what this thing is. If you remember back at Downfall, where you were hopping across some rocks near the pond, there was a strange rocky creature that lived there. This thing looks exactly the same, and it rumbles past, and in Sylvan, for those that understand it, say, "Thank you for giving them their payment. I don't have to be a security guard anymore. I'm off to the next show." And he just follows them. As to most people, it just looks, it's the oddest sight as these billy goats jump up this avalanche side cliff, jumping from rock to rock to rock, and then it almost looks like there's some boulders rewinding themselves up the avalanche. Just
Yo, fake concerts go hard. Holy shit.
Seriously.
as they all disappear back up into the
Yeah.
distance.
Oh, God.
You look over and you see Amador and Polynella closely holding each other, and Amador says, "They were going to eat me if you didn't give them any food, I do believe."
No, well, we would have stopped them regardless, but they did a good job, so
I can't
carrots all around.
I cannot stand goats, awakened or not. They slew my entire family.
On purpose?
I'm just blank staring at them right now. You serious, Clark?
When he says that, I go over and immediately hug him with leave.
You hug the Amador?
Yeah.
He hugs back, and then you hear next to your your head.
She's jealous. She's
Daniel.
jealous.
Yeah, Amador moves backwards and is like, Pollinella, it means nothing. It's just a hug. My love is for you. My love is for you.
Oh my god.
I
I love this.
This all seems like a very unhealthy relationship. I'm just going to put that out there.
Paula's going to kill herself on somebody at some point.
Oh my god.
Oh, you just gave me ideas.
I'm glad I could
Oh
be
my
a
god, it's
help.
gonna be the final
We're-
fight.
we're
Commodore's gonna
absolutely-
be in trouble, and Pollinella is gonna sting for the final hit.
Oh no. We're, absolutely,
It'll be a tragedy.
we're in a
gonna be
telenovela for sure.
In fashion.
tragedy
She's
in 3
she's
acts.
gonna think she stung somebody because she's gonna fake it, and then he's gonna be like, ah.
And then he's
and then
gonna
he'll be
stab
like,
himself.
yeah, and then he's gonna rip off his stamen, and then
Ugh.
she's
Ah.
gonna be like, and then she's gonna be like, where are you?
No, thank you. All right. Well, with the goats gone, the path ahead remains unblocked. And as the wind and lightning still flashes above, you get closer and closer to what looks to be this Stonehenge-esque structure above you. The cart winds its way up this plateau. As you approach, what they have told you is Lockberry Henge.
Is it like a steep climb up to this thing?
Yeah, so you wind up and and as you arrive there, through basically some cliffside paths, etc., you find yourself atop a boulder-strewn plateau, and there stands a circle of 8 megaliths.
Neat.
In the center of this henge, you see a small checkered game board
Oh,
with
yeah.
stone
like to play
playing
chess.
pieces resting on the ground near the dying embers of what looks to be a campfire.
I will approach the chessboard.
I immediately grab his shirt.
How
I
big
will
are these?
Stop
How,
approaching the chessboard.
how big are these monoliths comparative, like to us, and how spaced out are they?
Well, why don't we go?
Oh yeah, let's do that. And I would say I would probably go to the closest one as we get here, hopping off the cart, obviously.
Okay,
Let's say it's this one.
You
over
park the cart and you hop off, and you see that each of these standing stones seem to be about 20 feet tall, and they're hewn from different types of rock. All of them are different. The one that you approach seems to be hewn out of granite.
Okay, and I'll just inspect it, just kind of run my hand along it, look at the size. Does it look like it's chiseled? Is it weathered? Has it been here a while? I'll just try to get a sense for
Very
this
weathered,
structure.
it's weathered. You can give me a nature check just to kind of get some rock
Ooh, yeah.
vibes, man.
It's rock vibes. Yeah. That's vibing this rock. Nature. 17.
Yeah, dude. These stones are old. Quite old. But your druid senses tingle as
Ooh.
there's something interesting about this stone. You're touching the granite stone. You feel there is almost like presence here. Like the stone has energy. Energy beyond just being some innate object.
Huh. Yo, guys, this shit old, but it got something in it.
Language.
Oh shit! Fuck!
Rattle,
I mean,
Language.
I tossed 3 coins. 2. Triple shot. But I will then be kind of clear. Like, they might be. Do I get a sense of sentience, or can I not tell? Is it?
With
It's
that
some
roll,
sort of
you
druidic
get
energy.
You get some, with
Yeah.
that roll, you get some sort of vibe from it that there is maybe some sentience. Something about the rock feels living.
Yeah, this might sound a little colors of the wind, but these rocks might be alive, guys.
You
There's
look
some-
Okay.
We just talked to some talking rocks. Why does it sound weird to you?
Oh, it's not really that weird, I guess.
You look around and you can see that each of these stones are some sort of like type of rock. You see
what is
shale,
it? Okay,
chalk.
okay, I'm gonna write
Don't
this
tell
down.
him what type of rock.
Fuck. No, I need to write this down somewhere. Fuck.
I mean, it's they're here
Okay,
for a reason.
shale.
Chalk,
It's gone.
Yeah.
flint,
Flint.
granite, slate, basalt, obsidian, and marble.
Oops. The only problem is it's not a rock.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
They're stones, bitch. Rosin.
Zug will pet it. Like, you don't belong here.
Rosin.
On the side of the cliff.
Your passive perception is more than enough to see that there are footprints that seem to lead away from the smoldering campfire.
Do a specific
Give me an
location.
investigation check.
I'm too starved with the rocks at this point.
Rosin,
Plus, Rosin got it.
Your detective senses kick in, as well as Velka, as you see what look to be sooty. Nutmeg is stoked on that game board, apparently.
I'm like, yes, I'll get stoned.
So you see 2 sets of small, sooty hoofprints leading up to stones.
2 sets of 4 or 2 sets of 2?
2 sets. So like two tracks of prints. They're hoof prints though. They look like cloven hooves. One of them makes its way.
Looks like bipedal.
Yes, bipedal
hooves, right?
creatures. 2
Yeah,
bipedal
like
creatures. 2
centaur or
bipedal creatures.
satyr?
Yeah. 2. Yeah. No, it would be a centaur. They go in different directions. One of them
But I mean,
goes
yeah,
over.
I was imagining like it's 2 sets and one leads this way, one leads that way.
One goes to shale. One goes over to the shale stone and just stops. And the other one goes over to the chalk stone and stops.
I'm gonna go over to the shale stone and I'm gonna stick my hands all over it.
So there was
smooth.
Oh,
It's smooth,
Polynella
but yet
much, huh?
flaky. It has some nice edges. This would be some really good bouldering stone. It's got, it feels like it would be good bouldering stone, but then you like think about it and you're like, nah, it's shale. It's very brittle. It would be really bad to pull upon. You don't feel anything else though, Velka.
Real quick, you said it was the footprints went to shale
and chalk.
And chalk.
and chalk. Okay.
Okay, between the 2 of those, is there anything that would like look? Is there anything that connects those 2? Is there anything else like around the chessboard? Is there any? Well, one, is there anyone else present? Because we didn't see anyone else, right?
No, your passive perception is super high. You see nobody else here.
Also, maybe you're the one who can see this, and I don't want to meditate. No, I'm not going to meditate. Never mind. I'm not going to ask the question.
Good boy. Curb your enthusiasm.
Bruh.
Good house of friends.
Which ones are those on the map?
They are on opposite side.
Can you label the rocks, please?
I bet I can do it.
Oh, well, I don't think we were supposed to see that yet.
Yeah, I saw
I
someone
didn't see
show up.
nothing.
What?
Okay,
Oh, I
you
see they got-
guys
I'm
want to
writing
help
notes.
me out here? So let's figure this shit out together because I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Obsidian is black.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that
Obsidian.
one's obsidian.
Yeah,
Nope.
I said this is obsidian.
No, top's obsidian.
Top's
Why?
obsidian. This one is.
Why? It's
Other
well,
one is
to
basalt.
be fair, none of these actually make sense for obsidian because you don't have cloven planes, and you see these structures.
All right, the
that
top
are
one's
all-
obsidian.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
what the hell?
This one is probably
This should be
basalt. Then.
basalt.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
got.
Oh, it's basalt. Okay, guys.
This
Basalt
one's
could be
obsidian
many
because
things.
it's slightly
Guys.
blue tinged.
Guys,
This is
for some
darker.
reason I heard salt, and I was like, salt's not a rock. I'm like, but
Salt is a
okay.
rock, though.
I mean,
No,
what-
it's not a rock.
Salt
rocks-
is not a rock.
Technically, have to be silicon based.
Like,
We discussed this the other day with stone
Yeah.
versus
All
rocks.
right, so we
We
got
didn't get to-
got
Okay,
obsidian.
this is getting too
Okay.
too off
All right,
topic
we
now.
got
is
obsidian.
this guy?
So we got.
This
Chalk's
slate,
the
I'm gonna
soft-
call this one slate.
The softest rock looking would be chalk.
I'm
Which
gonna
one
call
do you
this
think is
slate.
chalk?
I think
I would say this one here
one's
here is chalk.
Okay.
I would say
Yeah,
this is
this-
marble and this is granite, or maybe flip those 2.
Yeah, it could be either one.
All right. So which one are we
Wait,
calling?
but-
Which one are we
But
calling
you
shale?
said salt and
Shale's gonna be light greens. This one.
that one. Is this one slate? We never decided.
Sure.
Is this one slate?
Yeah. Slate should usually be
Slate
a
gray is a
Okay.
great color.
Yeah.
And then and you said they went between the chalk and the shale.
Yes. Which one's shale?
Oh,
So-
and then actually Flint would be
Yeah,
perfect for this
those
one because
are,
angular.
those are semi-opposite sides, so that's fine. That still works.
Okay. We're still missing some
Colloquially.
here.
Yeah. Then we decide on this one down here. That was gonna be.
That
was
one's
slate.
slate.
Like,
Yeah, and then this up here could be Flint.
That makes sense.
We should make this
And
one.
then we would have granite.
This one
Granite.
has to be marble.
Granite.
This is
Oh, what-
marble.
Well,
This
it's
and then that
probably
one's granite.
marble.
So
Yeah.
left is marble, bottom's granite.
I hate this puzzle.
I love
We
it.
got it, guys, even though it's probably totally wrong. And
You know what? It is because again,
it's gonna ruin the
I'm gonna
story.
shut up.
So.
Doesn't matter of the location. Any rock can be moved from one place to another.
So you- as we observe Zug running around and licking the rocks and tasting
Yep,
them and
tasting
trying to
them,
figure out
exactly.
which one is which.
Woo,
We see Nutmeg and probably Kiwi, I would assume, looking over at the game board. It is a checkered game board, revealing that there is a game in progress. You see two sets of playing pieces. One is made of shale. The other one is made of chalk.
Huh.
Oh,
So
And
maybe
You want
they
to place
are-
a stoner chest?
They are
Oh, so
sculpted
this- yeah,
from the
man.
forms of tiny, cloven-hooved creatures with wild beards and hair.
I would
Huh.
like to poke one.
Do we
You
know
poke
what
it, it doesn't
finger
do anything.
Wait, did we think it's actually Doug? Perhaps the monoliths themselves are playing this game. I don't know if we should interrupt it.
Would anybody like to examine the game board?
Yes.
Sure.
Everybody give me insight checks.
insight. Interesting.
Voda has completely checked out, by the way.
Yeah, you're back on the cart with the rest of the NPCs.
I understand
Just vibing.
stoner chests.
All right. Velka, Rosin, you realize as you look over the game board that Slate has chalk in checkmate, or can checkmate chalk in a single move.
Go over to Slate.
Slate or shale?
Shale. Wait. Is
No?
it Slate or is it
Slate,
Shale?
it's Slate and
Slate
chalk.
You
Okay,
Wait.
two on the right side then.
It's just
Okay.
yeah, it's Slate and chalk is the
Okay, you said Shale was what the chess pieces were made of.
no.
It also
I did
makes
not.
sense because
No, I
no, no,
I
no.
said
Time
it's-
out, time out. Stop. Wait, stop. You
What?
said that the hoof prints
Yep,
went to shale and chalk,
correct.
it's supposed to be.
and the chess pieces are slate and chalk. Okay.
Doesn't make
Okay.
sense because slate and chalk would be black and white for the most part.
Yeah. So go over to Slate and stick my hands all over it.
It feels like
Now without consent.
cold rock.
Can I?
Voda, very bored, leans close and just goes, "You could try punching it."
I think about it, and then I just squint at Voda,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna.
What would
Did
Rosin like to do? You were the other one who realizes that Slate can be chalk in one. And you know the move. You see the move. Board.
Can I move the pieces?
Pick one up, they move.
Okay, I want to win.
You move the piece over to the checkmate position. And you hear, "Fuck yeah! That That's what the winning fucking move is! Let's go!
I'm looking over to Velka or Voda for the language.
I'm too shocked about the fact that the voice just started.
Where did it come from?
Is it
Does
one
it
of
come
the
from one of the
rocks?
rocks? Yeah.
Yeah, you watch as over at the Shale Rock, a big bearded, cloven-hooved individual steps out, celebrating, jumping up and down. And then
Literally
you
just
look
steps
back.
straight out the rock.
Yeah, just steps out of the rock. And then you
Okay.
look over at the, and then suddenly from behind Voda, you hear, "That's not fucking fair. They fucking cheated. They made the move for you. I'm gonna fucking chew rocks over here." And you see another individual step out of the chalk rock and
Chalk rock.
and step forward. The bearded individual that you saw step out of the rock walks forward confidently. It is very hard to discern the gender of whatever this thing is, but they walk straight towards Rosin and they shake her hand emphatically. She says, and the individual says, "My name is Argental, and I am one of the Queen of the Cordids. That over there, that loser, is Jagu. And man, I'm so glad you finished my game. What the fuck are you even doing here, though?"
Language.
And that's where we're gonna end for the evening.
Yep.
Sorry, what was the name of the name of Shale?
Jagu is no,
Ja-
sorry,
Jagu is Jagu.
Argentile or Argantle. Argantle.
Argantle. And then Chalk was
Jagu. Jagu.
nice. I nailed that one easy.
And there's the
Nice.
and look, you see a Korid.
Ooh, that is interesting. Oh, that's where the wild things are from. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Look at these things.
Evidently, the answer to that is the Feywild.
Yep. I mean, it checks out.
What did he say? I'm queen of the what?
Queen of the Korids.
Queen of the Cords.
Argantle is queen of the Cords.
Mm-hmm.
And is made of shale or something like that.
I have questions about why Shale's piece was,
Slate.
yeah. Like,
Yeah,
that.
there's some things that
In
Is that a
addition
meta
to-
thing we get to know, or are we gonna find out?
I feel it's a question we're gonna have to ask.
That's going to be a
As the
question
credits
that I
roll,
ask.
Rosin goes over and asks Argantle why it's slate and shale, and Argantle goes, "'Cause it's fucking black and white!"
God damn it.
Nothing to do with the fact that it's chalk and
Just happens to be that.
Like,
we're-
That was
Yeah.
less a red herring and more of a fuck you.
that was
Yeah. Dude, my notes tonight are thick and girthy. My God.
Yep. Was a wild night.
There's a lot of information here. Whether it's
Yep.
important or not, we'll find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I think it's a lovely kind of progression where the further and further you get into Prismeer, the more and more kind of complex and depth and deep
Yeah.
the different areas get. And now you are all aware that your shenanigans in Thither with Skabatha and Loomlurch have had their echoes approach the next destination. Meaning, security is now up, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
needs to be
we
on
made it
notice.
harder.
yeah, and that was kind of I think that was alluded to by the fact that there were those mechanical birds that were flying out to her sisters from Skabatha.
Yeah, we actually changed one of the notes in those.
Oh yeah,
too.
we sent a
we
note.
added, we added another bit that said "fuck you," so I don't think
to
No,
No,
we-
we
situation.
added
Lorna.
to
To Bad
Bad
Lorna.
Lorna,
Yeah.
the fact that we got the painting for her, and
Oh, we did-
fucked
you're
with
right,
the
you're
sister.
right.
He essentially
Yeah.
said, "You're welcome," and left.
Yeah. Didn't elaborate.
Exactly.
Leaves.
So, thank you. Good session.
That was fun. I really enjoyed that first little section, or
No,
part of the
I-
session too.
And
I love those
thumbs
interactions.
up to you all. I just muted myself and let y'all motherfuckers do your
I
thing.
noticed that.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's that is where the character development really
Love it.
gets going.
I love
Yeah.
it, guys. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. I'll be right back.
Yeet. Yep. I kind of my note.
All right, thanks everybody. We're out of here. Solid stuff. I'm glad that I got to have a moment tonight of of literally back in the. Take care. Be back next week. Same time, same place.